Hiya, it's Zaya, and today we are going to be taking a flip through look at how my morning planner is going. There have been some very big changes that have happened in this morning planner. All right, this is a horizontal sterling ink B6. I have my vision board here on the front. I have not been waking up at 6 a.m., but I have gone back to work, so that's part of it. All right, so once we get in here, we can see how I have been tracking my sleep apnea. I have not made any purchases to Paper Dolls Co. stickers, and that's just because there hasn't been anything new coming out as of recently. But once she does, I will be adding in some stickers here. All right. This is my 2026 year in review. Obviously, the year is not over yet, so this page will stay blank for the entire year. Now, this is my goals page, and I will put up on the screen, which I have been trying to do in every single video, all of the goals that I'm currently working on, plus which ones we still have left. Now, I have added some check marks in to 3 locations, and that is because these things I've decided are not for me. So I gave yoga a go. It's just not my thing. So I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to move on and try something else. And another thing is I did try doing morning routines tracking in here. It was not working, so I have completely abandoned that and have decided to place it into a different system, a different book. The evening routines, I had them inside of my health planner, and I think if you had saw that video, you noticed that I was kind of struggling, like, I don't have enough space, where am I going to put all this information? Well, this book has helped me decide, you know what, hey, the way that was working just wasn't congruent for what I needed, so I have shifted gears a bit. But that's okay to still have those tracking things here because they just relate to morning habits and routines. And you'll see that once we get into the routines planner video. All right, here we have my pain tracker. And all I do is use a zig dot and I mark if I had jaw pain because I have TMJ. I grind my teeth at night. Sometimes it does give me a headache or causes me to have tooth pain. If I wake up and my body feels sore, I have chronic back pain. And then if I had a nightmare, so you can see on the 6th and on the 9th, I had a nightmare. You can see that I'm waking up almost, or not waking up, but like when I wake up in the morning, this is how I'm tracking it. So when I wake up in the mornings, my body feels sore. I've had 2 days where I woke up with a headache and several days of jaw pain. Whenever I have nightmares, it's almost positive that I'm going to have some type of either headache or jaw pain. So it could be what we want here is the least amount of colors. We want to see no colors, but unfortunately we are seeing quite a lot. Okay. Over on this section, we have my affirmations, which is I purchase quality clothing, I speak Spanish, and I'm an avid reader. And I call these my motivational truths. Then we have my goals for January. I put NFM, which means not for me. I tried the yoga stretching tracker, following a yoga YouTuber. Not my thing. So I just put NFM. And these are the ones that we finished so far. I'm going to purchase a cover before the month is over. I'm just looking into which one I'm going to get. And same thing with Paper Dolls. I'm going to make an order, but I just haven't decided what to get because she hasn't came out with anything new recently. Okay. And then if you see the little numbers on here, that's the sticker sheet. You can find those stickers on. On this section, I originally was going to use this for tracking anything related to the yoga, but because that didn't work out for me, I decided to create a tracker for the nonfiction books that I'm reading. So from the 1st to the 4th, I read Don't Believe Everything You Think. That one, it was an ebook. And then Can't Hurt Me was a physical book. And right now I am currently listening to Super Communicators, and that is an audiobook. So the goal is to just continuously it's better for me if I am listening to nonfiction audiobooks because I can do my other morning routines at the same time. But if it's a book that I own, it's better to just get through the book and complete them. So this way I can either decide if I'm going to keep the book or if it's a book that I'm either going to sell or donate. All right. So we have all of these ones still open. This is from December. This is my weather chart. So you can see I have my highs and then my lows. This is how the weather was in December for us. I had a to-buy list over here of common products that I would use for the morning, but because that is going to be switching over into my routines book, which is going to have my morning skincare, my evening skincare, all of that is going into a routines book. I really don't need that section anymore, but I do have it listed up here at the top because I didn't decide until this week that we're currently on to switch that over. But this is how it's currently looking. We've had lots and lots of rain, highs and lows. This is where we are currently at. It's currently Sunday, January 11th. Okay, and then the rest of these are just the blank monthlies. When we get into the weeklies, this is how the week looks. And you're probably thinking, that's a lot of writing. What is all that? These are notes. So this section is from the book that I was reading. So this is Don't Believe Everything You Think. And these are all of the notes that I took from that book. So I would come in, I would read the ebook, any notes. You can see that there's some page numbers like page 26, 17. And then once I got down to here, okay, I'm done for the day. I would read if there were any notes. Okay, I'm done for the day. So it's not about just read, or read a certain amount of pages. It's read until I can fill it up with notes or anything that's specific. And then on this side, I watch motivational videos and I keep track of any of those quotes that really speak to me. I put those over here on this section. You can take a look at how it went for this week. So the Super Communicators it's very informative, but there's not really a lot there to write about, at least for me. It does talk about people who are super communicators, but it doesn't really give you a, I guess, concrete example of how to become a super communicator. It does discuss how other people do it, but I think it takes a lot of practice. And so I did write down these questions. I know there's more than the 23 that I have here, but I just wrote down some of those questions that I had when communicating with people. I'm not a very, I guess, extrovert. So when it comes to communicating with people, it is quite a bit of a challenge for me. From the book Can't Hurt Me, I read that one from the 5th to the 7th, and that one was a physical book. And I wrote down all of the quotes from the book that I wanted to keep with me. The thing about this book is it has life stories in it. And typically I don't enjoy books that have any type of life story. I understand the story is how you learned or you got that experience. But for me, I don't want the story or the anecdote. I want the facts. I want the information. And then I'll do with it what I will. And then over here, you have the section that is all of my motivational videos. This week was really hard when it came to motivational videos. Normally there's some really great inspiring quotes, but for some reason this week the videos that I was getting in my feed were just, I don't know if it's just because I've heard these things before or if they were just not speaking to me. And if they're not speaking to me, I'm not going to write them down. So this is how this week looked. And obviously we're not here yet, but this is the sticker kit I will be using for the upcoming week. So you can just see how it just starts out blank, and as I go through, this side doesn't tend to have a lot of stickers on it just because I need the space for those nonfiction books. And then all the way over here in the back, so this is all those weeklies. This is the horizontal. We have 12 nonfiction titles that I would like to read this year. So The Law, the 50th Law, which is by 50 Cent, Overcoming Adversity. Super Communicators, I went ahead and checked that one off because I have finished it. Every Day a Friday. Some of these books I think I'm just going to have to purchase because I believe there's only 3 more of them on here, and I took these from my Goodreads. There's only 3 more on here that I'm actually able to either find online or at my library, so I'm going to have to be making some book purchases, and I do try to put the color that I'm using at the bottom also. So, and I did leave some space for any additional stories. I could have added in the ones that I had already started, like Can't Hurt Me, but this is, I mean, you can already tell I've read 3 books already in January for my nonfiction. Where is it at? I need to get all the way over here. So you can already tell we're only on the 11th, and I've already finished 3 books. So that just lets you know that I'm definitely going to be reading over the 12 mark. But these are just 12 specific titles or 12 books to read. I want to try to finish these ones first before I add any more in. I started with Don't Believe Everything That You Hear or Everything That You Think, only because I was already in December thinking, okay, well, it's the 29th. What am I going to read? I didn't have any plan. And because I didn't already pre-make the plan, I just started with that book. And then Can't Hurt Me, I chose that one because I had a physical copy of it. If I didn't have a physical copy of it, I probably wouldn't have chose it. But I have plenty of space here in the back to add in all of those other titles that do come up. And I can, you know, also add any books here if there's just so many possibilities because we're already, if you figure if I do a book each week, that's 52 books. But there are some weeks where I might be, you know, reading 2 books a week or listening to 2 books a week. It just really depends on not only the story itself, the chunk of the information, how long it is, if I'm listening it to it as an audiobook, because obviously I don't read as quickly as I do when I'm listening. I do listen to it on 2 times speed, so it is faster for me to listen to than, you know, my eyes can do. But yeah, there's definitely going to be, over the entire year, there's definitely going to be more than 12. But these are the 12 that I want to focus in on. So those are these books, and they are all on my Goodreads. Now, these are the morning routines, and I will be writing in the morning, or not the morning, the monthly assessment here. But as you can see, I have not been filling this out. Issues. Okay, so let's talk about this. The routines book, I'm having a lot of problems with routines. And I think it's because, one, writing all of these things out every single day is very repetitive for my brain, and I just don't enjoy doing that. But then when I have it in this type of layout, even if it's only 7 days and not the full month, my brain can't seem to focus. It has such a difficult time, and I don't understand why. What I was doing was I was trying to do this, and I'm not sure why. I don't know. It was a struggle. It's been a struggle. So we're moving into a completely different book with these routines. I'm trying to give myself some grace and not beat myself up. You know, it's only the 11th day of January and you're already messing things up. Trust me, by the day 2, and when I having this blank for the second day, I was beating myself up pretty bad. But I told myself, you know what? You can only do what you can do. And I'm also in between skincare products and trying to figure out what's best for my skin. And I just need to sometimes be kind to myself. All right, so over here, I was thinking, you know what? I'm just going to, instead of doing it in this format, I'm just going to do it in a weekly format. And then I said, you know what? Stop, hold up. Because I was like, oh, there's definitely 52 pages here. I can definitely do one for each week. I need to be realistic in the fact that this is too open. It's not going to work for me. And so going into a separate planner is what I need. And that's what I did. So even though this says January week 2 and there's nothing there, it's perfectly fine. I can always come back and cover this up. Not a big deal. I could even write, you know, like this could be the continuation of that book page. You know, this, even this can easily be covered. So this can go here and then be covered with books. Now we have all of these note pages. Even this is the compact version, there's still a bunch. I do need to add this one in. So whenever I use a sticker sheet up completely, I just go ahead and write in the sticker number there. So this way I know that when I go to purchase, that's the sticker sheet I need. And then this is just the area where I did my pen test for my zig dots, because zig dots can sometimes bleed through the paper just because they can be very harsh. Well, I hope you enjoyed the flip through of my morning planner, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye, friend.